I'm doing a video review of the Accusharp knife and tool sharpener. It's a diamond-honed tungsten carbide rust-free sharpener advertised to quickly sharpen, restore, repair, and hone serrated blades, cutting tools, cleavers, axes, and machetes. All I'm doing today will be from the knife category. So I was at my dad's recently doing some work for him there, in which I needed the assistance of my pocket knife. As I began using it, I realized I hadn't sharpened it in a while. It was quite dull. And you know how frustrating that can be to need a sharp instrument and not have it readily available. So I asked my dad if he had a knife sharpener. And he said yes. And so he handed me a knife sharpener of design that I've seen and used before. It was this one. It worked great. A few swipes later, I was back in business. I told myself, I've got to get one of those. So I've been needing a couple of good utility kitchen knives and was not pleased with the offerings from local stores. I guess I'm just picky. Well, I happened to find a great set of kitchen knives during Prime Days, and I'm super pleased with them. I got a great deal on a set of color-coded Cuisinart kitchen knives. Great quality, really sharp. You can see they knew they were sharp enough. They needed to put guards on them. There were 6 knives, and I don't know if it's legal or even gauche to do 2 reviews in one, but those are a great set of knives. So the paring knife, which is what I use most, is starting to get dull, and I can't have that. So I began looking on Amazon for the sharpener that I used at my dad's. It didn't take long to find it. It was the most popular one, and for a good reason, and I'll show you why. In my humble opinion, this is the best sharpener you can get for a lot of cutting instruments. It's the best one I've used personally. So I'll use this for sharpening whatever I have the need of sharpening. So, got a bowl of cherry tomatoes here, and I'm just going to show you. I'm going to just, nice and easy. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. You can see that, okay? So I've got a peach here as well. You know, nothing. You can see the indentation. I'm not putting too much. I mean, you could put a lot of pressure and really bear down and do what you wanted, but I've learned that it's much nicer to have a sharp instrument. So you take the Accusharp thing, you put it in your hand, whichever hand you use. You're gonna hold it like this. If you're right-handed, this. If you're left-handed, I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna hold this here and hold the knife like so the blade's up. I'm just gonna take and insert that over the blade and just do a couple of 3 or 4 swipes down. Gentle pressure. And just follow the contour of the blade down. Okay. Do a little rinse action here. Not that it's necessary. Get my cherry tomato and we'll see what happens. Wow, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's try it again. Maybe it was a fluke. Like a hot knife through warm butter. Let's see what a couple of other swipes does. Cut some tomatoes up for my lunch. Look at that. That's just, I love it. Perfect. Peach maybe? Ooh. Oh yeah, I love it. Fantastic. So there you have it. The Accusharp knife sharpener. And just a shameless plug for the Cuisinart here. I've used this quite a bit too, but this knife is still super sharp. I actually was a little careless and put a cut on my thumb there. Still hurts today, but I mean, I've used this numerous times, and you can still see how sharp it. Hello, super sharp. So a great product by Cuisinart, and a great product to keep my Cuisinart knives sharp, the Accusharp knife sharpener. Get one today.
Okay, so this is a review of the Accusharp Pro knife and tool sharpener. So I've just got this here, it's brand new, haven't used it before. And what I'm going to be doing is sharpening this knife. So this is a relatively inexpensive knife I purchased off Amazon about 1.5 years ago. And I've been maintaining the edge with a honing steel. So for reference, honing steels merely correct the angle of your edge and straighten it. They don't actually file metal off the knife, which is what this sharpening tool would do. Now, for reference, this is a tomato. It's quite a firm tomato, and this is just completely, well, not completely dull, but not as sharp as it could be. So using just the weight of the knife, if I draw the knife across it, it's not piercing the skin or anything. So this knife is rather dull. So I'm going to sharpen it using this. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to do this on the counter. However, the instructions do say to put your knife so that the tip is off the counter, and I imagine that the reason they do that is because it'd be quite difficult to get the edge if you know, you can't move down past your bench counter. I'm just going to angle this down a bit. Okay, so they say that you need to position this 90 degrees relative to your knife and apply light pressure. So I don't know how many passes I'm going to need, but maybe I'll just do 5 with light pressure. So let's give it a go. One more. Okay, so I've just done that there. Now, it's probably not going to be able to pick it up on the camera, but I can see small metal filings on the end of the knife where it has shaved metal off. And I can also see the same on the knife sharpener itself. So I'm just going to go and clean the knife off, and then let's try it on the tomato. Okay, so I've cleaned it off. Now I'm just going to try the draw test. Okay, so just that there, I know it's quite subtle, but the knife has actually grabbed at the skin of the tomato, and I can see a very faint incision there, and that's just with the weight of the knife itself. So I can already tell that this is actually quite sharp, just based on that. And if I just draw it through the tomato, so yeah, I mean, it's reasonably sharp, but to actually get a super razor sharp edge, I'm going to need to use more sort of specialized tools. But I think, you know, for my purposes, this is absolutely fantastic. It's done exactly what I need it to do. And I generally don't like to work with knives sharper than this anyway, because, you know, more likely to injure yourself inadvertently. So yeah, overall, great product. Highly recommend it.
Okay, we're going to do a quick demonstration. We got the Accusharp knife and tool sharpener. We're going to do the tomato test. I picked some random, really crappy knives actually. Don't worry about the brand or anything, but this is what we're gonna do. I like to cut the tomatoes, and I don't like the juice to come out. So I'm just doing like this, finger pressure. I mean, just actually the blade. So I'm having to saw this guy. It's able to cut through the tomato. It's really not that sharp of a knife. Okay? That's all blade pressure from the weight of the blade. Okay, now we're gonna get this little knife right here. Oh, this one's terrible. I can't even. I'm sawing through this thing. Well, they're able to cut through the tomatoes, okay? So now what we're gonna do is I got the Accusharp. It has the carbine blade to give you a nice edge. I've never been able to sharpen a blade. So what you do is you put it down on an edge so I don't contaminate. You theoretically don't want to do this over the cutting board. You would want to do it over the counter is what I've noticed what works the best. But you start right here on the back of this chef knife, there's a little edge. And you just run it across to the end, to the point. So you start right here and go. Okay? And you don't need a lot of pressure, just light pressure will do. And you got the little finger protector, which makes it very, very easy and safe to use. We'll just do 2 passes. Okay? And then I would take the same tomato, and we'll just, wow. 1 swipe. See, again, look, this is just blade. The blade did that. And then I'll go ahead and grab another fresh tomato. Which I think tomatoes are one of the hardest things to cut if you don't have a good blade. But yeah, it's definitely cutting right through the tomato like nothing. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to this little guy. Just a few little clean. It's actually kind of fun. It's kind of therapeutic. Oh yeah, you feel a nice edge on that. Okay, here we go. This is just the blade pressure. Gives it a nice cut. Now I'll actually put some real pressure on it. Wow, cuts right through it. So there you go. You have it, the Accusharp. Very good deal. You won't be disappointed.
So you got your Accusharpener. Put your knife on the edge of the counter like it says. Just a couple passes with it. Wipe your knife off. You got a piece of paper.